Since we done got done talking about the WNBA, I do want to move to college football. Let's go ahead and talk about a few games. The very first game that I will be talking about, we're Roll Tide over here, in case y'all didn't know that. But Alabama has just dropped another game, this time to the Tennessee Volunteers on the road in Nashville, 17-24. Jalen Milroe, 25 of 45 for 239 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Jam Miller, 12 carries, 42 yards. Justice Haynes, 8 carries, 22 yards. Ryan Williams had the only receiving touchdown along with 8 catches for 73 yards. He was targeted like 20 times. I kid you not. It was either 19 times or 20 times. He was targeted a lot in this game. Jeremy Bernard, 5 receptions, 72 yards. Kendrick Law, 4 receptions for 37 yards. But that unnecessary roughness, or that unsportsmanlike conduct, should I say, that caused the 15 yards and made it a 4th down and 22, that was most definitely a killer. Their quarterback, Nico, I don't even know how to say his last name. I'm not even going to say it. He was 14 of 27, 194 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He didn't even play that well. He got hurt. He came back. He didn't even have to do all of that because Dylan Sampson, he got the ball 26 times. Now, in the first half, he only got the ball like 8 times, 8 carries. But in the second half, Tennessee, they started feeding him more. I think he's the leading rusher in the SEC. I could be wrong. But he had 26 carries for 139 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Brew McCoy, 6 receptions, 80 yards. Chris Braswell had the touchdown for Tennessee. And their defense overall played good. They played good. Alabama, they scored. They only was held to 7 points at halftime. They were held to their lowest amount of rushing yards this whole season. They rushed for over 100 yards in every single game that they played. But this one, they could not rush the ball. And they couldn't throw the ball. And Jalen Milroe, you're my guy. But there were some throws in this game that I know you will want to have back. Jalen Milroe was throwing it behind guys. Like the first interception, you got to throw it more so to the corner. Let's see. Let me go ahead and show y'all. So for this, second down and goal. First off, I personally would have ran the ball because you're on the 3-yard line, second down and goal. Run the ball, see what you can get. Just to see what you can get. You throw it to your best player, Ryan Williams. Okay, that's what you decide to do.
But they like their talent.
You see that he's getting clamped. The cornerback is looking. I think his name was McCoy, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go ahead. Yes, McCoy. He was playing. He was balling before he had got hurt. But he's looking straight at the quarterback. He's looking straight at the quarterback because he knows that it's going to Ryan Williams. And he underthrew it. He underthrew the ball. That was the first interception. Now, the second interception, was worse.
Are in the backfield the entire time. He sees it. He sees Jeremy Bernard.
Like you have Jam Miller open. He's open too. But you can't throw it behind. If you throw it on the run, he's able to make a catch and he's gonna get hit from behind. But if you throw it like this, the cornerback, the safety is gonna be able to come and undercut the ball and intercept it. So those 2 interceptions are ones that he would have back. And there was throws like to Ryan Williams where he had him on 3 separate occasions, Ryan Williams. He had him twice going over the middle of the field, one coming from the right-hand side, and he threw it behind him, which caused Ryan Williams to slip. That's one. If you throw it right in his chest, he has a whole lot of space. Then the second one, he's coming over the middle, and you throw it high and behind him that nearly got intercepted. You got to hit him on the run. And Jalen Milroe, he's a good deep ball passer, but his intermediate routes, sometimes he can get a little bit inaccurate. And sometimes with Milroe, it's like he reads one person, one receiver, and if he's not open, he's ready to go. He's ready to run. Now, there's times where, in the Georgia game, where he'll go through his progressions and look at receiver to receiver, and then he will throw it. But in this game in particular, and shout out to the Tennessee defense. The Tennessee defense played good, played really good. But with Jalen Milroe, you can't just look at one read, and if he's not there, you're taking off. We get that you have the athletic ability, but teams are going to see that, and they're going to want you to beat them throwing the football. And the third play to Ryan Williams was when you threw it to the sideline, and he was open, and you missed him. So there were throws in this game where Jalen Milroe just flat out missed. Flat out missed, and it cost him. It cost him. If you were to tell me that Alabama would have 3 turnovers, they had 3 turnovers this game. 2 interceptions and a fumble, and we only scored 7 points at halftime, and we don't win the game as an Alabama squad that just beat Georgia a couple of weeks ago. It's like we're treating the Georgia game like a national championship, goddamn. We come on the road to Vanderbilt. Our corners, my goodness, now we can't defend. It's like we forgot how to play defense. And now coming into this Tennessee game, we're acting like we can't put the pieces together. It's like our offense will play good and our defense will not, or our defense will play good and our offense, it's like it's non-existent. We got to put the pieces together. That's what's really going on. But on the offensive end, we have a whole lot of things to clean up. We have penalties that we need to clean up. Milroe has to get better as a passer. You can't just look at one read, and if he's not open, take off. The running game was non-existent in this game. It was non-existent from the running backs. And that's one of our weak spots, too. One of our weak spots. Now, personally, some of the play calls were iffy. Like the 4th down and 22, it was iffy. I don't know what type of play call that was, but at the same time, if our offensive line can't block, we're not going to have time to throw it 22 yards. We're just not. So it's a lot of cleaning up that we have to do. And another thing, too, speaking of that 4th down and 22, it was the 4th down and 22 or the 3rd down. That was an offsides. That was an offsides. And for this game to have so many penalties in it, I'm very surprised that they didn't call it. Because they were calling flags, throwing laundry on the field the whole entire game. But at that time, you don't want to call that. And it messes up everything. And now it's a 4th down and 22. You should have called that. He did not time the snap at all. He was early. He was in the neutral zone. But you didn't call it. And there were so many flags on both teams. It was like 15 flags for Alabama, 13 penalties or 11 penalties for Tennessee. It was something like that. They were throwing penalties like crazy. But one thing I will say, Tennessee did go back to their strong suit. They went back to their strong suit. They only handed it to Dylan Sampson 8 times in the first half. They gave it to him almost 20 times. And we were stopping a run in the first half. Alabama was stopping a run in the first half. Then all of a sudden, the second half, he just let loose. It was this one drive. I think it was like 8 plays. And he got the ball like 7 of the 8 plays. It did something with it. He got like a 20-yard run, another run, and then he ended up scoring a touchdown. It's like we had him in the first half, but then all of a sudden, we just couldn't stop the run. Now we just couldn't stop him running the ball. They were grounding and pounding us the whole entire second half. And we just couldn't stop it. But I don't blame this game on the defense. I 100% blame it on the offense. Because you can't score 7 points in the first half and have so many turnovers. And we had good field position. Very good field position. Our defense did what it needed to do. It's just our offense just didn't play well. It didn't play well. And with this loss, the only way I see Alabama getting into the college football playoffs is if they run the table. They have to beat everybody now. They have to beat everybody. And let's look at their remaining schedule. So we play Missouri this Saturday. We play LSU on the road. So we might mess around and lose a third game if we can't put the pieces together. Then we play Mercer. We play Oklahoma. And then we play Auburn at home. So we're going to be able to beat Mercer, Oklahoma, and Auburn at home. But Missouri and LSU, especially LSU, with how they're playing now, I don't even know if we could beat LSU if we can't put the piece together. And it's on the road. I'm very questionable about us making the college football playoffs. Very questionable. Because that Vanderbilt loss just showed everybody in the SEC that you can run against this team. Our corners are our weak spot right now. We're not being physical. And teams can see that. Vanderbilt was running all over us. Tennessee did it in the second half. And with LSU and Caden Durham, I'm pretty sure they're going to follow the same type of game plan. And they have good receivers. They're going to follow the same game plan. Missouri, too, especially throwing the football. You got to watch out for Luther Burden. Who's going to guard him? Don't know. You don't know what type of Alabama team you're going to get. Are we going to get the Alabama team that stepped up in the first half against Georgia? Or are we going to get the Alabama team that allowed 40 to Vanderbilt? We got to be able to put the pieces together on offense and defense. Are we going to get the Alabama team that allowed that got 3 turnovers against Tennessee, but the offense couldn't do anything? Or are we going to get an offense that is striking on all cylinders, but our defense can't stop a cold? What are we going to get? That's going to be very interesting to see against Missouri. But personally, I think we're going to beat Missouri. I'm more so concerned about LSU. We have to beat LSU. Have to beat LSU because LSU is ranked, I think they're in the top 10. Yeah, LSU is number 8 right now. So we have to run the table. We can't lose no more. Texas A&M is ahead of us. We dropped from number 7 to number 15. What the hell just happened? We were just number 1. How we dropped 14 spots in a matter of 2 weeks? 2 weeks. We was just the best team in the nation. What happened? The best team in the nation. We losing to unranked teams. Tennessee. I didn't think we was going to lose to Tennessee this year, especially when their quarterback, when Nico got hurt, and then the other quarterback came in and his first throw was an interception. We got to put the pieces together because we're capable of beating the teams that are ahead of us. We're capable of beating Texas A&M. We're capable of beating Indiana. We're capable of beating BYU, Iowa State. We're capable. Tennessee, we're capable. Miami, we're capable of beating these teams. It's just, are we going to be able to put the pieces together? Alabama has to be able to put the pieces together. Put everything together and have a good game on both sides of the ball. Because there was a lot of possessions on offense that if it would have connected, we would not even have been in that position. They put themselves in that position on offense. And that was the reason why they lost the game. That was the exact reason they lost the game. But overall, shout out to the Tennessee Volunteers for winning a big game at home, moving up to number 7, 6-1 record, and overall still in contention for the college football playoffs. Alabama, y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up. It's Roll Tide, but y'all need to wake up.